Hi, pretty people. So the angle is on tilt. This is not, my room isn't on tilt because of the earthquake. Um, yes, actually, this building is quite untouched. I I wanted to actually I'm here to talk about the earthquake, not actually because I really want to. I was thinking about doing another Himalayan, growing up in the Himalayas video, but then this is what happens. This is why I don't post very often, is because I have too many ideas of things I want to post. And then I was watching stuff on YouTube, and then I saw that someone made a video about the earthquake, and I got jealous. I was like, I should make a video about the earthquake because, me. So, anyway, my story is probably not as dramatic as some people's because I live in Siloam, and it's kind of not much happened in Siloam. I think there was something in Southorn that was one of the swimming pools that they have on the rooftop at the Aston Towers, which is a big condo building, kind of fancy. It had kind of turned into a waterfall. So anyway, you can see all these videos. You don't even need me to describe it. Um, yeah, I was here and in my room and having my lunch, which I had gotten from the vegetarian takeout place, and I started to feel very wobbly. And it was reminding me, like, about 5 years ago, I had like a syncope seizure, and it felt like that. Actually, it's indistinguishable. I honestly, if you feel the walls rippling and the floor rippling, and you feel dizzy, it could be you or it could be the world. So I was like, oh, it's me. I'm losing it, or I'm having a seizure. And then so usually, whenever I have felt like something like that might come on again, I just stop moving. So in this case, I just sort of slid down on my sofa and was like breathing slowly, and then I realized I'm not really feeling any better. Like it's kind of still feels like the world is tilting backwards, and so then I noticed that my door was waving at me, hello, and I was like, oh, that's a bit weird. Even if I'm having a seizure, it shouldn't be doing that. So, so then I got up and went to the hallway where I found the cleaning lady for this building was lying on the floor, um, having assumed that there was something wrong with her, and was administering smelling salts to herself. And and then she just like got up and was like, "Oh, do you need something? Can I clean your room?" And I was like, "My tie is really shit." But I'm like, no, I think something is going on. Is the world moving? And she didn't really understand. She's like, no, we've never had. I managed to like I Google translated, which is dangerous actually because Google Translate is evil. But I Google translated and asked her if we were having an earthquake, and it translated it to something in the distant past. So she thought I was asking about earthquakes in general or historically or something. Anyway, I was like, no, the house. And she's like, oh, you mean now? Yes, I thought I was dying. So then we managed to. Well, there was nothing to be done. It was already over. Actually, I was just trying to confirm that I wasn't like, completely wigging out of my own mind. And we ran downstairs, and then we confirmed with the front desk, and then we saw everyone out of the street, and then they started talking, and then for some reason I came back to my room because I was like, well, that's that. But then the landlord phoned me to evacuate the building because there was warning of aftershocks, um, which never came. I mean, like we got everyone downstairs, and then he called and said actually he was stuck in traffic and couldn't even get here because the streets were completely clogged with people who were basically scared to be in any building. I'm not sure what I always thought earthquake protocol was you go stand under a doorway because the lintel is supposed to be stronger. Probably not very useful for that. You know, the video that you've seen of the building coming completely crashing down, and that I don't know. It crashed in a way that I would expect to happen more in an action movie than in real life. Like I thought it would be more awkward the way a building would come down when it does. Like I seem to recall with the Twin Towers in New York when they came down, that you know it was sort of like not a symmetrical process. Whereas this video of the building coming down, yeah, you can see it's sort of like a little bit wobbly, but yeah, I don't know. It looked almost like anyway. I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah, so this disturbing video to see anyway, especially you know there are images of workers who were trapped. Um, and obviously, this earthquake originated in Burma, and Burma is quite devastated. Like Burma needs to be devastated. I mean, you know, y'all are talking about genocide um, in the homeland of Jesus, and it's supposed to be this globally consuming thing. Meanwhile, genocide has been going on for like several years in Burma, in Myanmar. I still have the habit of calling it Burma. I still have the habit of calling Burkina Faso Upper Volta because when my parents went there, it was called Upper Volta. So that's like my memory, which my memories of things are very strict. It's like when I was born and then I started understanding things, I keep the thought process the same. Uh, which is why you always have these like cultural disparities between generations, is because people get set in their thinking. Anyway, yeah, so um, I think that like it seemed to me that Thai people were quite freaked by the earthquake, especially because it does not usually happen here. It's not like a kind of a hotspot for earthquakes. Um, I think they have more in Burma, and the Burmese people. There are a lot of Burmese people in Bangkok right now, and they're a little bit like um, not blasé, but like well exasperated with the panic because they're like, you know, genocide, earthquakes, yeah, welcome to life. Anyway, so all is well. I actually all is extraordinarily well in this building because I don't even see a crack in the walls. Whereas my friend, when she got back from her trip, she found many cracks. You know, reasonable sized cracks in the building. I think it's livable, her room, but um, yeah, there was like, you know, questions about whether she should stay in there or not. Anyway, yeah, so that is my experience of the earthquake in Bangkok. Very self-centered, basically. Like I was, as soon as I knew that it wasn't me going crazy, I was relieved. I was like, oh, it's just an earthquake, which is extremely insensitive thing to say. I did say that on Facebook. Um, Given that the loss of life and you know, there's a lady who's looking for her husband who went down in the building, and it's a very emotional story. Um, and I mean, you know, my friend sent me a video of someone who was swimming in a rooftop swimming pool, and then the earthquake started, and it was like, you know, storm tossed ocean suddenly, and these people were getting tossed around, which must have been incredibly freaky. So, but you know, I'm not one of these thoughts and prayers people who's going to be like, and you know, my prayers go out to the families, because I don't really think that sort of robotic sentimentality helps anyone. But you know, what seems to me to be robotic, like, you know, template sort of template empathy. But but yeah, I mean, one of the things that I kind of like that happens whenever there's like a big disaster is everyone comes together, and there's this sense of like I would say oneness. Like, you know, everyone is checking on each other, and it's very sweet. Um, and telling stories, and where were you when it happened, and suddenly like all the ice is broken, which is kind of it's a shame that in our societies it always has to be a big disaster where we realize, oh, it's not all about me, and then we kind of like break the ice with each other and remember, oh, we're all children of the divine, we're all kind of like one essence. um, anyway, that's all I wanted to say about that. I'm going to just upload this and then I'll do the growing up in the Himalayas video. I have no clothes. My clothes are all in the laundry. And so this is like a week old shirt that I'm wearing. So you're welcome. Okay, bye for now.